I'm putting in one more trying to put in one more slide with that slide that you made, but I might not make it in time. Let's see. Oh, that's a great slide. Okay, glad you only sent me one to insert. Okay, let's turn off sound. This starts. I turned off sound and video, right?
I can hear you, but yeah, your video is off.
I'm just adding that slide in.
So I guess you'll just prompt me for when you want me to jump in.
Yeah, I'm going to just share my screen. How do I hide this freaking thing? Okay, here. Can you, okay, let me share my screen. Okay, let me share. Share screen. Hi, is anyone on board? Let's see who's joined so far. I think we've got Nick, Robin, and Trisha. Oops, I'm gonna unmute everyone. And hi everyone. Glad you're joining. We're just having people rolling in here as we get started. So really excited to speak with everyone. Larissa, if you don't mind just messaging Addie, maybe she can join as well. I don't know if she got the link. Okay. Hi, everyone. Looking forward to getting started. We're just having lots of people rolling in here. Just a quick administrative check. Can everyone see my screen okay? Feel free to type in the chat if you can. I'm going to get the chat open. So are all of you able to type in the chat right now? Feel free to type and let me know if you can see my screen.
Disabled.
It's a disabled. That's not good. Okay, let me see.
Sure.
You want to try now? See if you can type in the chat now. And you guys can see my messages. No screen. Okay, I didn't share my screen yet, so that's okay. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen and see the chat. Lisa, still no screen? Okay. Okay, perfect. So feel free to give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen, see the chat. I think we're getting more attendees rolling in. And yes to chat or no to chat? Are you guys able to use the chat? Looks like people are able to chat and I'm seeing more messages. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Really excited that all of you could join us here today. And we're really excited to present about the Canadian Digital Adoption Plan. I'm here with Larissa, and she's actually one of our account managers and the primary writer of most of our digital adoption plans. So we're going to be sharing a lot of information with you all today, and how you can take advantage of this very innovative program from the Canadian government. So let's get started. And I know people will join in. Just a little bit about what we'll cover here today. By the way, we will have a Q&A at the end, but so if you want to put in your questions as we go, we could definitely cover those all at the end. Is Addie on here? Addie, feel free to add a comment if you're on here as well. Okay, looks like you are. Perfect. So just to introduce you a little bit about here, I'm Adina. I'm the director of Napkin Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency here in Toronto, and we're also a CDAP advisor. I'll be telling you a little bit more about that soon. What we'll be covering today is basically overview of the CDAP grant, what kind of grants are available, how much money and funding you can qualify for, what you can actually use the money for, what's eligible expenses, and what the plan is if you go with the bigger plan, which involves writing a digital technology adoption plan, what that plan actually looks like and what's involved. And also some of the other benefits you can get, like BDC funding, wage subsidies, and what's different about Napkin when we prepare your CDAP, because there are other advisors out there. So just before we get started, quick check, Addie, I don't know if we're recording. It looks like we are recording, so that's awesome. And looks like we've got a good group. I know some of you have worked with us and some of you have not, and we're excited to join all of you. So let's get started. A little bit about Napkin Marketing. We are a full service digital marketing team, including SEO specialists. And these are just most of our folks here on the board. We've got a group of graphic designers, web developers, SEO specialists, social media specialists, and Google Ads specialists. So one great thing about working with us on the CDAP is we're able to help you understand exactly what strategies you need to move forward with in your business. But then once you understand the strategies, we can actually recommend and execute for you. So if you realize in your CDAP that you need to update your website, you need to update your SEO, you need to add e-commerce to your website, we can help you execute definitely all the digital marketing things. And as well, we've got partners on the IT side that if you realize you need, an ERP upgrade, you need to upgrade your CRM system, you need to upgrade your computer system, their Microsoft Office 365, upgrade your servers, we've got IT partners to help with that as well. So this is myself and Laura are primarily working on the CDAP program. And Laura, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit. And if you haven't worked with me before, Napkin Marketing's been around since about 2010. I've worked in corporate marketing in Fortune 500 companies in Canada, like Rogers and Yahoo, if you remember Yahoo, as well as publishing companies in Canada for, I won't age myself, but probably 10 years before starting Napkin. And Larissa can tell you a quick bit about herself. Oh, I think you're muted, Larissa. Here we go. Unmute.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you, Adina, and hello, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Larissa. I'm an account manager at Napkin Marketing. As Adina mentioned, I'm the primary writer, draft, and editor of CDAP reports here at Napkin. I've been in account management and digital marketing for 15 years. Previous experience, I've worked with companies like Huawei, as well as agency side with the likes of Havas and WPP. And nice to meet you.
And we always like to see, I always like to know who's in the audience as well. I'm recognizing some names and some names are new. So feel free to text in, where you're joining from. In Canada, I think most of us are here in the GTA, but love to see if you want to share your company and what city you're joining from. Feel free to post. So let's move on here. And a little bit, I think we told you a little bit about Napkin. We do everything from web design to search engine marketing and email marketing. And that's our background is coming in as a CDAP advisor. And we could tell you a little bit more about our process once we get started. Here are some of our tech partners. So the reason I'm sharing this is, yes, a little bit of self-promotion, but also to give you guys confidence that we weren't chosen lightly as a CDAP advisor, and they do have some strict criteria because they want people who are qualified and have worked with tech companies so that we are qualified to look at a company's overall technology picture and recommend a technology plan or improvements which is what this program is all about. So what is the CDAP grant? Oh, cool. We've got Robin. Yes, Robin's joining us from Calgary. So great to have some Western Canada representation. So just to give you guys an overview, what is the CDAP plan? It is funded by the ISDE, which is, I think, Innovation, Science and Development division of our federal government. And basically, the whole goal is to empower small, medium businesses, to connect them with digital advisors and help them upgrade their technology for their business and basically accelerate their business forward. So there's two versions of the grant, and I'm pretty visual, so I had these little icons for us. There's basically two flavors of the CDAP grant. Everybody's heard about the $15,000 grant, so that one's called Boost Your Business. There's also a $2,400 micro grant called Grow Your Business. And basically the difference between the two, we'll be going through the two different types. We will be providing slides after as well. And so I'll go into Grow Your Business first. So basically with Grow Your Business, the criteria to qualify is pretty much any for-profit business. There's a very accessible bar to qualify. You only have to be making about $30,000 in annual revenue. And even if you're not, you have to have at least one employee. The owner can count as the employee, and you would have had to file taxes in the past year. So it's very, very flexible. Almost any business in Canada can qualify for the Grow Your Business grant. They do specify that you have to be a consumer-facing business and a registered business or incorporated. So it's not for social enterprise, not for charities. There's a lot of other government programs for that, but that's basically Grow Your Business. For Boost Your Business, you need to be incorporated. We have also had clients who are not incorporated, who are sole proprietors, who have qualified for this. But in general, incorporated company, a for-profit company, and at least one employee. Now this one, it allows B2B or B2C employees. So B2B or B2C companies. And we have had most of our clients who have qualified for the Boost Your Business have been B2B companies. And you have to have at least $500,000 in annual revenues in any of the last 3 tax years. So 2022, 2021, or 2020, you had to have had $500,000 in at least one of those years. So this is for bigger businesses. So going into grow your business first. And if you guys feel comfortable, I can spend more time on one or the other. So if you want to put in the chat, if you're here to learn more about grow your business or boost your business, and then I can know whether to go a little quicker in different sections. So to go through grow your business, again, mentioned the 4 criteria. So we will spend a lot more time on boost your business. And one thing to note about grow your business is there are certain categories that are not eligible. So the government's been really specific about that they don't want a lot of franchises getting these grants, a lot of corporate chains. So those are specifically excluded. If you're an owner of a chain or a corporate franchise, they really want small independent businesses to get these grants. As well, insurance agents, if you're with a real estate brokerage, if you're with an insurance brokerage, or if you're a mortgage agent, or a mortgage brokerage, or an investment advisor, like Sun Life Advisors, Remax, etc., they do not qualify for the grant right now, as well as wholesale or distribution businesses. But we have had, so this grant is more for restaurants, it's for even courier companies where if they deliver to consumers. It's for, I think they're trying to go for more, retailers, people who can move into e-commerce in their business. So for example, some of the examples we see on the ISDE site is, a small cafe that was able to add online delivery to their business so they can now deliver food, with food delivery companies, for example. So law firms are eligible for grow your business. Yeah, if you have a small law firm, you could definitely qualify for this if you're independently owned. So I think, and I think it does say manufacturers are excluded, but if, you might be able to qualify, I think, if you, accountants are included, so accountants can qualify. They don't exclude accountants as long as it's an independent accounting firm, because I know some accounting firms, like, for example, Grant Thornton, I don't know if that would count as a corporate chain. But manufacturers, if you do sell directly to consumers, I think you might be able to qualify. So as long as you have some business that sells directly to consumers, you should be able to qualify. But cleaning companies I know have qualified. So great questions here. I think for some of these, let's try to set up an appointment. Addie, if you don't mind putting our appointment link in the chat, some of these we might have to talk to you one-on-one and just learn more about your business to see if you actually qualify. So, but I think the big rule from the government site is consumer facing, not a chain, not a franchise, not part of a brokerage, right? But I think a cleaning company could qualify. Like, you don't have to have actual physical products necessarily, as long as you're able to figure out a way to sell your products online. So for example, a cleaning company can set up a booking page and have e-commerce that way, right? So that people can book their cleaning session online and perhaps even pay for the service, prepay online. So what Grow Your Business is all about is helping small businesses get online, grow their sales. And it's all about, really, when you read the language of the program, it's about help enabling them to sell online and collect payments online. So it also covers things like adopting security software, connecting with customers, improving their social media marketing, and their user experience. So some examples could be like developing an e-commerce website or adding e-commerce to your website. You're not supposed to redesign an existing website, but if your redesign is primarily to add the e-commerce, that kind of stuff is covered. Hiring a consultant to help with digital marketing to aid in the e-commerce. And again, they really specified that your grant can't be used only for digital marketing or social media. But again, I think it can be massaged in if you can wrap it around that this is part of your e-commerce implementation, because they do say specifically that they will cover social media if it's supporting your e-commerce. So, ads to help sell your products, or an ad to help sell your business, your services, and the ad directs to a landing page where someone can order your cleaning service or order your products. So again, things like ERP systems, CRM systems, they will pay for up to 20% of the cost of software that you need to implement. So basically, it covers upgrading your business processes, covering, digital marketing, for services like we would provide for on the social media or web development front, or updating your website front and SEO, as long as we can tie it back to e-commerce. So that's kind of grow your business. Things that they don't cover, they have a long list, but basically they don't want to cover general business overhead kind of stuff. They don't want to cover your mortgage or your loans or your debt, or any other business expenses. So all of these things here have nothing to do with updating your e-commerce or just general marketing things. That's not what this grant is for. It's really, we really have to make sure that, if we work with you on the application, we position it as updating for e-commerce purposes, or updating your, business processes, making your business more efficient, more automated, better CRM systems, better ERP or whatever, project management systems. But primarily, we get the sense that they love e-commerce and they will fund anything to do with e-commerce. So, if you were to apply for this, there's a different application process than the Boost Your Business grant. You apply through the ISDE site, and we do find this micro grant takes a little bit longer for grant approvals as well. But these are the kind of things you need to have on hand when you're applying. You've got to have one of the following: either a copy of your master business license, your articles of incorporation, or your GST return, your HST number. Believe it or not, a lot of businesses even have trouble collecting these documents sometimes, and we've gotten stuck in the application process when the owner didn't have this on hand. So I'm just kind of putting it out there to have this prepared if we do go ahead and apply with you. Another thing that you have to have is an actual estimate for the services that you're going to be asking for this grant for. So that would be like an estimate that we would provide for the services, or if you're, going for non-marketing services, maybe ERP or CRM systems, maybe a price page from the website, for the software that you want to cover, the grant money to cover. And you have to have some kind of, they do ask for like a couple paragraphs written up, of what is the service and the expenses you want to cover, and how this is going to help your business. So for, businesses that apply with us, we help you kind of write up that description and that rationale. But it is, just so you know, it is part of the application process, and it's nice if you can have a couple paragraphs written in advance, so because they do ask you to rationalize, what these expenses are going to be used for. And another thing, a business void check, which another surprising thing, or maybe not surprising, not so easy. Nobody uses checks now, but or getting your bank account info. So making sure that's on hand, and you apply for that on the ISDE website, which you should get to know really well if you're going to be applying for CDAP. This is the main website where you do have to apply for the grants yourself. We don't apply for you. But we can assist and kind of help you on a Zoom call while you're applying, to just kind of support you with all the steps, because we've done it quite a few times now. So does this make any sense with grow your business? Or maybe Addie, you can add that ISDE site on the chat so people can have it on hand. So moving on to Boost Your Business, which I think most of you are here for. So Boost Your Business is geared for larger businesses. You have to have at least 500,000 in annual revenue in the last 3 tax years, as we've mentioned. And this one's actually a little more flexible because it covers B2B or B2C businesses. And just to give you an idea of the kind of companies we've had approved for Boost Your Business so far. It's been immigration firms, it's been, financial firms, law firms. What else we had? We had a software company, right, Larissa? We had healthcare staffing company. So yeah, but basically this is this helps you with a digital adoption plan, and we'll be going into what exactly that is. So the whole goal, the stated goal from the government for Boost Your Business is to help small businesses in the long run reduce their overhead costs, speed up their transactions, become more efficient, be able to communicate with their clients more quickly and easily, and things like improving business processes and efficiency. So again, inventory system improvements, supply chain logistics improvements. And I can also expand that. I think things like project management software, improving your accounting software, improving your internal IT systems or cybersecurity, as well as digital marketing, can be slotted into that. So basically, anything that the digital adoption plan ends up recommending, you can then apply for further funding for. So what does that look like? So basically, what the grant ostensibly covers is you get up to $15,000 to cover a digital adoption plan. It actually technically covers 90% of the eligible costs. So, when we, how it works is we, as a digital advisor or any digital advisor that you work with, would invoice you for the digital adoption plan. It's supposed to be paid in advance. And then afterwards, the report is submitted and the government reimburses you within 30 days. So the bonuses that you get from doing this plan is it opens up a lot of doors to a lot of other programs for you. So for example, once you have the digital adoption plan report done in hand, it's paid for, you've been reimbursed. So you do essentially get it 90% paid for. It opens up the doors to BDC funding. So the BDC is right now offering business loans, business financing, that interest-free loans. So I think they're interest-free for at least 1 year, maybe longer, and probably preferential interest rates after that. And it's 50 to 100,000. I think the 100,000 you have to be in a higher revenue bracket, but we can get into the BDC stuff later. And basically, the point of the loan is to cover anything that's recommended in the CDAP plan. So if we work together on the CDAP plan, and you say, oh, we want to get we need to upgrade our laptops, we need to subscribe to this new software, we want to redo our SEO and have, monthly SEO or monthly, it wouldn't cover, I think they wouldn't cover the ad spend, but they would cover any services that might be budgeted within, that loan amount. So as long as the report is approved and it's in the report budget, the point of the BDC loan is to cover the items recommended in the CDAP report. The next program that you'd be eligible for, if you go with once you complete the CDAP, is there's also a $7,300 wage subsidy that you can hire a recent graduate. They have to, I think, be age 18 to 30 and graduated within the last 2 years, and you also get access to the wage subsidy, and that's through a program called Magnet. So those are the two kind of big benefits of getting the CDAP report. Plus, we'll show you what the report's all about, what the report looks like, because the report itself is actually really valuable to your business. So yes, for the Boost Your Business, I think Mohammed had a question. You do have to have revenue of at least 500,000 in one of the last 2 years. But if your revenue is smaller than that, you can qualify for the Grow Your Business. And I think Sunny asked, can you help with the application for Boost Your Business? Yeah, absolutely. That's part of what we do. We actually don't charge to help with the application. We do charge to do the report for you. So like basically, I'll go into what we charge later in the presentation if you can hang on with that. So basically, what does the application process look like? You complete. It's actually fairly simple, but you do have to have a number of things on hand to be prepared because there are multiple steps. So there's a questionnaire, a fairly complex questionnaire. I'll show it to you. That they ask you. It's about 40 multiple choice questions, and they basically want to assess where you're at with technology adoption in your business. So what these questions kind of look like this. Um, sure. Am I still? I'm still broadcasting, right? Put it in the chat if you guys something weird just happened. Um, so this is just a rough version. We'll give you the final document, but basically it asks you something like, do you provide your customers with online access such as e-commerce, mobile app, and so forth? And then you have to say, we do not provide our customers with online access, or we provide basic online access, or the customers are provided with seamless access and mobile access and so forth. So from our experience, most all of the questions sort of look like that. They have yeah, how would you rate your digital marketing efforts from a 1 to a 5? And the 1 would be like, we don't do any digital marketing, and 5 would be like, we're completely on top of digital marketing. So most companies, that we've seen, they sort of fall into 2 or 3 with most of their answers. And, that's basically, you would need to fill that out. And the reason they have that is they want to give an objective kind of quantitative value to all the applications. So this is used to kind of give you a score when you're applying. So based on your answers, they, they want to see if you really need the grant money. So if you fill out the questionnaire, based on that, it generates a numeric score, and that will determine whether you're qualified for the grant or not. So we do ask that you fill that out in advance, because we just found when people had to do it during the application process, it just took them an extra hour. So, but it's pretty easy to fill out, and we can give that to you in advance. You also need to bring your government ID, your business number, HST number. Really also important to have the CRA My Business login. A lot of times we've had business owners apply, and their accountant has the login, or someone in the business doesn't have the login. The owner doesn't deal with the CRA stuff directly, but it's really important that you have that on hand. Have your business banking login on hand if that's what you use to access your CRA information, and also, again, a business void check. So that's kind of what you need on hand. And again, you'd create your account on the ISED site that I showed you earlier. Complete the digital needs questionnaire that I just showed you. And then we do find the grant approval comes very, very quickly. We've mostly gotten instant approvals for most of the grant applications we've done. We have had some clients, I think we haven't had anyone outright rejected for the grant yet. I'm kind of happy to say. We usually get an instant approval when we do that online application. And then it says you're approved for the grant, and then we can start working on the report with you. So part of the steps is you do the application on the ISED portal. You submit all the documents that need to be submitted, your void check and everything, and usually you get your approval that same time, or maybe a week later. Sometimes they'll send you an email saying, well, we need to review your application. But we generally, I think the longest we've had to wait for an approval was a couple weeks. And then once you do get your approval, you have to go in, you have to digitally sign and approve the application. And you have to, if you're working with us, you select Napkin Marketing Inc. They have an advisor marketplace. So then you would select us as your advisor if we're working together. And then, you work with your advisor to develop the digital adoption plan. And Larissa will talk about the steps for that. And then you submit your claim as well as your paid invoice to your advisor to get your grant reimbursement on the ISED site. So I think I've talked about the ISED loan. To get if your business is at revenue between 500 to 5 million, you would qualify, for up to 50K in a loan. And if you're at 5 million and more, you would get up to 100K. So, and again, I think I have to check into how long the interest-free period is. But I believe it's definitely 1 year. And I think there's preferential rates for up to 5 years. So why get a CDAP report? So a lot of times, a lot of businesses we're talking to, we will link the questionnaire at the end for sure. They kind of want to get, they kind of want to get the report as a stepping stone for the BDC funding or the wage subsidy. But the report is actually really valuable in and of itself because most businesses don't have the time or the money to have a report where they're actually planning ahead for their technology. Technology affects every aspect of our business and we all run on technology, but how often do we actually get the time to sit down, evaluate where we're at with our technology, all the systems we use, our whole tech stack, and actually plan ahead and budget ahead for it. So that is what you get with the CDAP. So we evaluate where you're at. We actually look at competitors as well for some aspects of the technology, and it's a strategic report and a bit of a business plan as well. So we look at all areas of technology that touch your business, your hardware, your software, your tech stack for business processes like accounting, CRM, project management, email and calendar and communications. We look at your digital marketing and SEO, cybersecurity, website security, and then we recommend improvements in most, if not all, of those areas. We also recommend digital marketing upgrades. So because, of our business, of who we are, we're able to give you a digital marketing plan as part of your CDAP report. And we also give you a budget and a timeline to implement the report. And again, we mentioned that it opens the doors to funding other technology with the BDC loan and the wage subsidy. So yes, the report is mandatory. That's the whole point of Boost Your Business, is it covers the report, but it does offer some side benefits as well. And we also do include, we don't include marketing services as part of the report. With the program, it really only covers, officially only covers the report as part of the grant. However, if you continue working with us, we do offer preferential rates and some service credits towards subsequent marketing services. If, for example, the report ends up recommending, hey, you need to update your social media, or you need to optimize your website, or you need to upgrade your website or improve your website, and you're part of that. You're collaborating with us basically on those recommendations as well. So if you come to us with a bit of a wish list for your website, we can include that as part of the report, and we can also include that for subsequent marketing services or web development services. And we do offer some credit and preferential pricing towards that as well for any clients who do CDAP with us. So, Larissa has been the master of the CDAP reports and crafting the CDAP reports for our CDAP clients so far. So I'm gonna let her take over here and share how she writes them and what's included.
Okay, great. So everyone, as you can see, this is pretty comprehensive. And yeah, if you can see the number of the last page at the bottom, it does indeed say 130. So the idea being here that we include as much information, research, and recommendations as possible, as well as data to back up what we are actually recommending in the reports. This would start off with the process of interviewing you, getting your tech stack checklist, just understanding, your current business processes, what your business goals and objectives are, what your long-term and short-term KPIs would be. And based upon that, we can then build out what our digital technology options analysis and recommendations for your business would be, because the CDAP report requires us to be vendor neutral. We would typically look at 3 to 4 different vendors that in terms of software solutions or hardware solutions or marketing solutions or cybersecurity solutions that might be suitable in fulfilling those gaps and needs that might be preventing your business from achieving those stated goals, whether it be, business automation or ensuring security on your website and your software applications, or, ensuring that, you grow your customer base, or, grow your new hires, as an example. So if I can just take you through a couple of these points. So we start off with an executive summary. So that really gives the overview of the business, who you are, how many employees are in the business, who are the key players, what is the current state assessment, so outlining what your business processes are, who your customers or clients are, and how do you actually operate to serve those clients or customers. Then we deep dive into, okay, what kind of technology is currently in use. So we look at your hardware and we look at your software. And something very important to note is that the CDAP requirements are very heavy on compliance, especially when it comes to things like cybersecurity and things like user data and privacy security. So if your business involves any capturing, storage, and usage of personal user data, they want to see, whether or not you have specific compliance protocols as well as training already in use in your company, already implemented in your company or not. And if not, that would also form a part of our recommendations. We look at a feasibility analysis. So basically that means there might be several different things that theoretically you'd want to improve and boost within your company, but we look at, in terms of your business objectives, what is actually mission critical. We put together a roadmap for you. So we create a Gantt chart, which we'll show you a bit later. And we do an implementation budget. So that budget is based upon our vendor research and how much do different vendors charge. So we would look at researching, as well as sometimes interviewing specific vendors for software applications, sometimes marketing services, and hardware and managed IT services. So based on all the information and sometimes quotations that we receive when we reach out to them directly, we would then put together an estimate of overall, in order to implement the different recommendations that we think you should be adopting, what would that cost look like? So that gives the government an idea of, if you're motivating in the future for that BDC loan, this is why you'd be motivating for it, right? So that gets incredibly specific. Then we actually, even though the actual marketing services aren't part of this report, we do actually provide a couple of mock-ups for you. So part of the report, it's very important to actually back up claims with data. So we include a thorough SEO analysis for you. We do website speed tests. We do website traffic tests, because we really want to analyze from a digital perspective, how's your company performing? We do a full SWOT analysis. We do a Gantt chart. And here's just a mock-up example of some creative that we will include for you in the report, in terms of the different kinds of marketing strategies that we'd recommend in order to grow your business.
Let me know anything you want me to share in case I'm on the wrong slide, Larissa.
No, that's okay. Does anybody want me to talk specifically to one of the graphic slides or another? So Lisa asked about an interest-free loan. So that would be the actual BDC loan.
Yeah. So the grant is actual grant you get for from the government. Basically, it's to cover this report that we're talking about, as well as, basically to cover this report and marketing consultation. Like I said, we do offer follow-up, a service credit for most clients, for if you want to continue with us and to implement more marketing projects after the report is complete. That can include website upgrades, SEO, and digital ads management, and email marketing. Basically, the grant covers the report for Boost Your Business, and it covers, you basically get what we include is a strategic marketing plan, an SEO plan, and a full technology adoption plan. And it covers things like it assesses where you're at in terms of cybersecurity. It gives you a budget and a timeline for implementation. And it also gives you a competitive analysis and a SWOT analysis. So this is kind of a high level consulting report that, most businesses wouldn't, have the budget or the time and opportunity to implement. And then you can then use that as a doorway to those other programs like the BDC loan. So just to explain the BDC loan a little bit, you do have to qualify for it like you would any other loan from a bank. So they don't automatically give it to you if you have the CDAP report. You still have to show like credit worthiness and stuff. So you would apply for the CDAP report is required and it's kind of a doorway to that loan, but they still do assess you, just in terms of like they'll do a credit check and so forth, just like they would with any other loan. But the idea is it would cover, it could cover anything recommended in the CDAP report. It could cover like cybersecurity improvements, IT improvements, hardware or software that might be on your wish list that we'll incorporate into the report. That normally it would be a little difficult. You definitely wouldn't get an interest-free loan from a bank to cover those things. You could probably get a line of credit. And I think we all in business owners have lines of credit or credit cards to pay for business expenses, but it is a pretty unique opportunity, especially nowadays with interest rates really being on the rise. To get an interest-free loan to cover these kind of business expenses. It's pretty unique. So, but just to qualify that for the BDC loan, you do still have to qualify for a loan and show some credit worthiness. And I know from other, colleagues that have been involved with grants and loans, they do a normal credit check, and I'm not sure how strict or flexible they are in terms of like how they look at people's credit worthiness. But I think BDC, because they are known as the entrepreneur bank, they are pretty flexible in terms of qualifying people for loans. They might ask for your expenses in terms of the expenses you submit for the loan. I know in some cases they've given loans to people and that you pretty much have free reign to use the money as needed. And in other cases, they look at the expenses you submit against that loan and what the money is actually used for. But again, that's more of a BDC question. But I do know that the BDC loan is communicated as part and parcel of the CDAP and accessible for CDAP completed reports. So I think, Larissa, you've already covered this in terms of like what's included in the report. So, yeah, and I think let's say a couple important things to note. So we do include full marketing recommendations. It is vendor neutral. So if you do want to kind of implement services with us that are part of the report, we're supposed to include at least 3 vendors. So you're also not obligated, like if you do want to recommend, digital marketing or website improvements or so forth, that you want to work with us on, you're not necessarily obligated to work with us. We've definitely done reports where we've recommended 3 other vendors that are not napkin marketing, and there's also vendors on there that are recommended for IT or for software that have nothing to do with napkin marketing. So the point of the report is not to recommend our services. It's really a vendor neutral report of services that will help improve and upgrade your business, right? So I don't know if Larissa, if you want to speak to that, like what kind of recommendations you've made in other reports without revealing anything confidential.
Yeah, sure. So just a couple of examples off the top of my head. So if, for example, you have a business whose primary model works with shift-based employment for independent contractors, we would look at how the business currently implements actually fulfilling those shifts for them, where the gaps are, where the need is, how they want to improve, and what their current technology setup is. And then we would look at doing our research around different vendors who might be able to provide, those technical capabilities for them a little bit better, or, do something specific that might fulfill a particular need for the business. But then we would also look at more broadly, especially from a digital marketing perspective, how's the website doing? How's the SEO doing? What is the cybersecurity like? How they're performing on social media? And then based on that assessment, we would include specific recommendations, almost like a mini marketing plan that would be included in the report. And then we would say, okay, well, maybe because of the business model, we would recommend a particular kind of CRM, a newsletter campaign, or, perhaps they should do webinars to, increase like thought leadership and position themselves in a particular way within the market. Another thing that, as I mentioned,
even like, if we recommended in the report that like, hey, you should have a pro edition of Zoom, right? Or you should be adopting online payroll system, or you should be like, we've had accounting firms where they're still doing, a lot of their clients are using the desktop version of QuickBooks. So, upgrading to the online version of QuickBooks, we have CDAP clients where, the business, everyone's using Gmail, right? And just moving them onto Office 365, having, using SharePoint. That would be something that's recommended in the technology plan, and it would be covered as a subsequent expense, right? So even implementing some cybersecurity software, and even we've had businesses in their budget, they're putting in laptop upgrades and things like that. So basically, it's pretty flexible. It doesn't just have to be marketing, although we do include marketing, but definitely, all technology is kind of part of that, part and parcel of the recommendations. So
right. And something that we also try to do is be mindful of, what is feasible for the business. We do a feasibility analysis. So, for example, if the full Microsoft 360 suite might be not necessarily necessary, to repeat myself, for a small type of business, then maybe like a Google Workspace Enterprise would be more suitable because it's a small team. Or, maybe, you want to do CRM for a business, but Salesforce is quite expensive. What other alternatives are there that are more suitable for SMEs, that are more agile and more cost effective? So we might look at different alternatives for that and make those recommendations, just to give you an idea.
yeah, or maybe like implementing HubSpot, or implementing plugins on your website that, adding chat to your website, for example, adding e-commerce plugins, adding online calendar plugins so people can make appointments with you directly. So things like that, I think, would be part of website or marketing recommendations. Okay, so we're going to keep moving forward here, and submitting the CDAP similar to, sorry, this should be the Boost Your Business CDAP, similar to the other program, is once you get approved, there's the approval process. As I mentioned, you would have selected your digital advisor from the menu. So this is once we're already done the CDAP, you would upload your report to the portal, you upload your paid invoice, and you click the submit button. And generally the service standard has been to get reimbursed within 30 days. So one thing to note is the government is in touch with the business directly when you submit these. So we have heard of cases where the report has been submitted, and sometimes the government has some questions, or they want you to change something or include something that they feel should be included. We do take the government guidelines very seriously, and we, as you saw that table of contents, like that's pretty much taken directly from the government CDAP guidelines. But however, depending on whoever in the government is reviewing the report, maybe they want us to expand on an area or add a section. So there could be a chance that they might say, hey, you need to revise this, right? So that might end up taking more than 30 days if that occurs. That is pretty rare, but I'm just putting it out there that it does happen. And if that is the case, we will work very closely with you. If you do end up getting some kind of email that, hey, you need to revise this report, we always work with our clients because we want to make sure you get reimbursed for this. We know that it's a big investment for your business and that businesses are counting on this reimbursement, and the accounting departments are counting on it. So it's our number one goal that this CDAP really is relevant for your business, it's actionable, and that you do get your reimbursement for it. So just know that we're very committed with being part of the entire process for you up to the point where you will get the reimbursement in your hand. So just on that timeline, maybe Larissa, you can kind of cover this.
Just quickly, but it is basically roughly a 4-week process from interview to submission, and the grants are typically approved and reimbursed within 30 days. So that's the CDAP commitment. Typically, we'll kick it off with an interview. A questionnaire is created for you. We also endeavor to, do our own research and put our own input in just to make the process as easy and smooth for you as possible. But, we do like to, get that initial kickoff, meet and greet, and have that interface and get your input, so that you are part of the process and you're aware, at each key step. Once we complete the first draft, we share that with you for review. If you have any inputs, any additional thoughts or changes that you need, you would share that with us. Then once those are implemented, we get you the second draft. And once you're happy, we kick into submission mode. So essentially, you would submit the document on your iSet portal. You would log in. You would select your digital advisor, if it's us as an example, and also you would attach the paid invoice, and then you would hit submit. Within 30 days, you should be reimbursed.
And just so we're clear, we do usually need about 3 or 4 weeks to create this report. You saw that it's fairly lengthy, and we will always want to collaborate with you and get your review on the draft. So you can expect, at least 2 drafts. You can probably expect at least 2 or 3 meetings with Larissa to just because she does, we want to make sure the report is legit, and we have some maybe 2 or 3 probably interview meetings where you ask about all their technology. We have a technology kind of inventory questionnaire that we ask you to complete. So you should expect that somebody in your business or yourself should be kind of a point person on the CDAP project and, be responsible for kind of filling out the questionnaire. But we do try to make it as pain-free for the business as possible. We write the whole report for you, but you are needed to kind of answer questions and be part of a couple interview calls. But we try to make it as pain-free and at least time-consuming as possible to kind of be part of the program. So I promised in my email invitation to kind of talk about top CDAP mistakes we've seen. So biggest mistakes is actually businesses just being afraid to apply, just thinking that they won't qualify or being afraid of the process. I think one of the things we try to do is just education about CDAP. So this webinar to talk about what the process looks like. It's not as scary as most people think. There is a clear process, and it's not going to be as time consuming as most businesses think, but you just have to be realistic, because in order to make a proper report, we are going to need to interview you a few times. You're going to need to fill out a few questionnaires, but we do have a process based around that. Another thing is just not having the critical documents on hand during your application, so not having your CRA access or your void check, and we're hoping that with the checklists we've outlined here that you can avoid that mistake. not doing the DNA quiz in advance. We learned that the hard way, and with our first application. So now we do give the DNA quiz in advance, so it makes that application meeting much faster, usually within an hour now or less. And we've had some clients who do the application just by themselves without us. Although we're definitely available to help on the Zoom call if you need us to be on hand. Also, not making an IT or marketing wish list before applying. Like I said, the CDAP report should be a collaboration between us and the client, so we can make that report fit the needs of your business. So if there are particular IT requirements or needs or digital marketing requirements that you've been wishing to implement, we can make that part of the CDAP report, so it's within the recommendations and also potentially covered by the BDC loan for financing, and not getting your IT or marketing team involved in the process. So this is, again, making this, we're all about really making this collaborative. Get your IT team involved because they're really get your marketing team involved because they're really the ones who are going to know within your organization what that wish list should be or what those technology improvements should be in the company. And maybe maybe your IT manager has been hoping for years that you would upgrade that CRM system or that old server, so this is your opportunity to put that in the plan and get that potentially covered by financing. There's also clients we have that have multiple businesses, so you can actually apply for the Boost Your Business and Grow Your Business grant. You can also apply if you have additional businesses, so you can apply for more than one business. You can also, if you have clients or partners yourself, you can also work with us to get CDAPs done for them. So for example, if you're a software company and your clients or your potential clients are saying, hey, we can't afford your software, we can't afford your technology services, we can help get them a CDAP so that they can potentially get financing for that. So, we do have, kind of partnerships and agreements for that. So if you do want to talk with us specifically, make an appointment with me and I can share more about how that could work. And then the napkin marketing difference, if you work with us on a CDAP, like I said, we are a digital marketing provider. There's a lot of companies out there who are like IT companies or just IT consultants who will do a CDAP for you, but they haven't actually been involved in implementing technology or implementing digital marketing campaigns. So sometimes, like we've heard of CDAP reports being written by ChatGPT. We have a human writing our reports, and we look at, we make it very relevant and personalized for your business. We also include all the marketing recommendations and SEO, and that, an expert, digital marketer is making those recommendations and making them relevant and about your business. And again, we also provide preferred pricing and the service credit towards subsequent marketing services with us. So, some of those services can be like, an SEO upgrade for your website, a website update for your website. And I think I might outline some of those for the other page, creating a lead generation campaign. It could be like covering a month of Google Ads or SEO, website updating. So we've usually, for post CDAP programs, we usually include kind of 25 hours a month of marketing services. So like I said, it could include updating your website, adding pages to your website, SEO optimization, social media management, email marketing. So it's really according to whatever needs you have for your business. We can apply some of those credits or preferential pricing towards your next marketing project. But I just want to specify that this is not part of the CDAP project itself. It's for post CDAP. So, let's see how next slide here. Okay. So a lot of you have asked about how does the pricing work. So the way we price out the CDAP projects is we do want our clients to get the full $15,000 grant. So the pricing ends up being about $14,850 plus HST, and CDAP reimburses 90% of that. So most clients, they do end up having to pay out of pocket, maybe about think $1,500 or so. We just ask for an initial deposit when we start the project. We ask you just to approve an estimate, and then we only ask for the deposit once you get approved for the grant. So once you actually do the ISDE application, you get your grant approval, then the deposit is due, so you don't have to pay anything until you actually get the grant approval. And then we ask for another deposit after we do the first draft of the report, and then just the final payment once it's time to actually submit the report. We because it's pretty early on in the whole CDAP program, we haven't had any issues with grants being rejected. Again, like I said, we're very committed to being part of this project with you until you get that actual reimbursement. So we will work with you until that final stage and be following up with you. And also be following up with the CDAP program, because we do have some contacts with the government program. So if we do find, the application or the reimbursement application is being held up, we will email them and ask, kind of for a status update. But so far, I know their service level agreement for this is a 30-day turnaround. So that's kind of where we're at. And these are some additional resources to help you. We'll also send some stuff after the presentation. And I'll just happy to open it up for Q&A. If anybody has questions at this point, feel free to, I don't know if you can make everyone allowed to talk, Addie, or feel free to put it in the chat. Any questions? And again, Addie, if you want to put our appointment calendar in the chat, because I know you may have questions that are confidential, so you can find our appointment calendar here, and you can just schedule an appointment and talk about your specific grant application. By the way, I'm a big fan of online calendars, so don't be surprised if I include if we include online calendar recommendations as part of your CDAP recommendations. But this is I think every business needs this, being able to make an appointment like this. So feel free to make an appointment if you want to include. Yeah, I think Addie just included the OneTub link for this, and we're happy to talk to you about your particular submission. Yeah, and yeah, look forward to working with you. So just a show of hands, how do you guys feel about the presentation today? Did it answer all your questions? Give me a 1 to 10, 10 being super useful, 1 being what the heck was this? If you want to put in the chat, or give us a thumbs up. Can everyone use the chat? Feel free to. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Jim. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you today, and feel free to follow up in helping us helping you get the CDAP. So yeah, look forward to working with you. If else was there? I think if everyone's still online. Oh, somebody was asking, I think, about our services and pricing. So this is kind of the napkin marketing circle of services. So basically, we help with everything from your strategy to your website, your SEO and local search and reporting, to helping you with reviews and reputation, Google Ads, retargeting, email marketing, social media. So this is actually 3 different packages. So if you want to work with us on SEO, the pink packages, it's the growth package, includes everything in pink and everything in blue, and the accelerator package, the one in purple, includes everything in the wheel. So depending if you do want to work with us after the CDAP, we can help with like basically just SEO if you want to focus on that, or if you want to work on Google Ads, landing pages, lead magnets, kind of creating a marketing funnel, we could definitely help you with an accelerator package. And yeah, feel free to talk to us and we can kind of work with you and see what your specific needs are. And yeah, Kaylee says, this is great. I've attended a few agency calls and we're the most important. Thank you, Kaylee. That means a lot. That's awesome. Yeah, so look forward to working with you guys and feel free to make an appointment and we'll make this have a different, like a more informative conversation that's more relevant for your particular situation and company and what we can help you with when making the CDAP tailored for your needs. Okay, I hope everyone has an awesome day and weekend and look forward to talking with you soon. Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, everybody.
How do I end the meeting? Oh, stop recording. There's no end call button. Leave? Okay, maybe leave webinar. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks again. Is some poor, uh-oh. Well, we do have a replay for you, Stacy, in case you missed it. So, all right, look forward to talking to everyone soon.